Well, we haven't seen the Astros this banged up coming into a season before. Michael Brantley on the IL. He's not going to start the season with the team. They're putting him on the IL because he's just not ready to hit yet. Dusty says he's taken some batting practice, but he's not ready to face live pitching. So that's that. Jordan is still iffy whether or not they haven't let him hit in back-to-back days. So, and I don't know. I think mostly just soft toss and whatnot. So he is iffy, and we'll see what happens with Jordan to start the season. We know about Lance McCullers, and so there's that. The Astros, the bullpen, they just sent Matt Gage down, their only left-hander in the bullpen. Dusty's okay with that. He says he's always crying about lefties. But then there's a spot. It's going to be interesting to see a sixth starter. They play 19 games in 21 days to start the season. 19 games in 21 days. So I think they're going to six. They want to go to a 6-man rotation even to start the season because it's 19 and 21, which doesn't seem like a hell of a lot, especially to start the season. But Urquidy's behind. Urquidy only threw 47 pitches from Mexico when they said they were hoping that they would stretch him out, and we'll see whether or not he is going to be stretched out long enough. You're going to need more long relievers in the bullpen. Seth Martinez is probably the guy because here's Dana Brown talking about Ronel Blanco, and the possibility of Ronel Blanco has really impressed him this spring. He could be a starter.
I'm really focused in on starter depth. I think things like starter depth is where you get on a roll of winning. And so I really like to have a lot of starter depth. In fact, when I saw Blanco throw the other day, I said, hey, man, this guy might have a chance to start. I mean, his actions were clean. He had 3 pitches. He threw strikes. And so my vision was maybe now to stretch him out. Maybe we could make him into a starter in AAA, and maybe he could potentially be depth. So I'm evaluating the team as we watch these games and try to put my scouting hat on and combine that with my analytic department that we have here and maybe talk some strategies. But Blanco would be like one of the first things that that really stood out. And so I have a vision of him maybe potentially becoming a starter.
So that would probably hand the last relief job to Seth Martinez and leave Brandon Bielak. I know that you'll be disappointed to hear Brandon Bielak out in the cold or in the warmth of Sugarland.
It's going to be very warm at that time. They don't play indoors.
No, right. It'll be, well, right. We've had some cold spells here. You don't know. I mean, it's close to the equator. It's south of here in Sugarland.
It's usually warmer during baseball season. It doesn't usually get cold.
Well, no. But
we're in the 80s all next
in
2
April,
weeks.
I mean, there's a chance you could have a cold
80s
spell.
all next 2 weeks. He'll be fine.
Yeah, no, yeah. So Ronel Blanco, a guy who looked pretty good and actually started on the big team last year, but that was when they started with 28 guys, and he got sent down right away when the rosters were trimmed to 26, and then we never saw him again. So that's a real possibility. And the other possibility is that with Brantley down, that Justin Durden is on the team. That Justin Durden makes this baseball team. And actually, they run him out there to play left field. I mean, he's got a gun. They've seen that. And he's 7 for 20 this spring, hitting 350, and he's got a little pop as well, and he's a left-handed bat. All of these things are like, well, I mean.
Lefty off the bench, you don't mind that at all. And so, and Todd Callis told us that was the guy that he thought is the obvious choice for a guy to break out. Although he did mention he thinks Kyle Tucker's going to be a monster, like a monster. So could that be an MVP, a potential MVP, kind of a dark horse MVP candidate? You know what he's like 20-1.
Kyle Tucker?
20-1 odds.
Well, he's I don't know.
Could he go 40 homer? Could he go 40 homers?
It's
awfully
30
high.
to 35.
Yeah,
I think he goes 60, but
Todd thinks he's going 30-30.
Yeah.
With the new rules, he thinks he gets to 30 stolen bases. Here's Todd Callis yesterday talking about this very thing.
So, I mean, the easy answer would be Justin Dearden based on what we've seen this spring, because he might make the roster if Brantley starts the year on the IL. He would be the easy guy. And I think it's not really a breakout, but I think the guy who's going to exceed his numbers that people expect by even more and be an MVP candidate, I think Kyle Tucker is going to have a huge year this year. I think Tuck has looked locked in from day one. I think the new rules in baseball that are going to be an advantage for stolen base guys, and he's our best stolen base threat on the team, are going to give him a chance to catch his number of 30 steals in a year. He'll probably steal 30 or more, I would think, based on what he's done in the past. I think Tuck, Yordan Alvarez, if he's healthy for the entire year, is always going to be the Astros' top MVP candidate, as he was last year. But I think Tucker this year could be good enough to be in that MVP race. I think he's going to have a monster season.
He was a 30-25 guy last year, so it's certainly not out of the question, especially with the bigger bases, that he could be a 30-20 and not throwing over. Kyle Tucker could take advantage of it.
And not being run by a analytics heavy manager and general manager. I wonder if that will change at all, because Click and obviously Jeff Leno come from the world of
even with Click, he stole 25.
Yeah, but outs are so valuable. You get the feeling Dusty, like Click, was not in charge of how they were going to play baseball. That was all Dusty. Maybe Jeff Leno had a little bit more juice with AJ, and maybe AJ believed, hey, outs are too valuable. We're not going to run as much, because Altuve's stolen base totals really dipped over time. Remember, this guy used to steal 50 bases.
Yeah, but he also had some leg problems too.
He did, but I mean, his stolen base numbers started coming down, I think even maybe before the leg stuff. It happens with a lot of major leaguers, but also analytics does not believe in bunting. They don't believe in stealing bases because the outs are too valuable. Like, you can steal bases, but I do think Dusty is a little bit more aggressive in that regard. And listen, Kyle Tucker's just a great stall. The analytics also tell you Kyle Tucker didn't get caught much. And it's a successful move when you don't have to be analytics driven to say, I'm not sure George Springer should steal that much. I know we think he's fast because he plays center field, but
he's not that good at it.
He gets picked off a lot, and he just doesn't make it that much.
He's not that good at it. So if you're not really, really good at it, then you probably shouldn't do it. That's my motto.
Yeah.
And George Springer.
Well, and yet the most analytics driven general manager I've ever seen, Daryl Morey, on more than one occasion, went and got guys like Josh Smith and Corey Brewer. Boy, those guys couldn't shoot. Well, they're shooting threes.
I don't know what.
It's the thing that will never make sense to me.
Never, ever. We got to shoot more threes. Let's get Corey Brewer. What? Now what? Now
that's like asking George, steal third. Just keep stealing.
Yeah.
Never stop stealing, George.
Brantley on the IR doesn't worry you?
Yeah, it does. I mean, we just, everyone was, Uncle Mike is back. Yeah, everything's fine. Uncle Mike couldn't even make it back last year, and now he's on the IR. This is damn near this is going to be coming up on a 1-year injury. Yeah, this concerns me.
Yeah.
On a shoulder that was already hurt. Yeah, it's bothersome to me.
Yeah, I don't know, in and out. We'll see what happens.
George was 14 stolen bases, 2 caught last year.
Really?
Yeah. Before that, with the Astros, 4-1, 1-2, 6-2, 6-4, 5-7, 9-10.
That's no good.
He was like on the wrong side of it.
Maybe they just have a better stolen base coach in Toronto than the Astros did.
Maybe he doesn't get picked off all the time. Michael Brantley not being there. I mean, look, he wasn't there last year for much of the year, so it's not. I'm not totally panicked in this. And Yordan's going to be playing. You have another DH, but you're not as deep. You're not as deep with Yuli being gone, but because that's one you've got. Who is your DH right now?
Well, hopefully Yordan. I would imagine.
So you're going to play who are you playing? Myers in the left?
Is there a chance that because
we've been assuming
is DH?
No, we've been assuming that Michael Brantley would be the starter and that Yordan would be the
Durden
DH.
Is probably going to be the starter, or Yordan's going to be the starter, and Durden. I don't know that you waste Durden's arm, But
we're going to have.
I don't think you want to put Jordan out there if you don't have.
Listen, it's Hensley and Durden, or Hensley and
well, Hensley. Yeah,
it's going to be Hensley and Durden, or Hensley and Jake Myers. It's going to be one of those two combinations.
It's Hensley
along with
second.
Machete.
It's probably Hensley at second, or Dubon play. It's probably an opening day with Fromber on the mound. Dubon at second, Hensley in left.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
No, well, it's what it is. What all the
well, no, it is, but this is why the Michael Brantley thing is a concern. Like, you sure you wanted to go after Michael Brantley? Are you sure you're okay with his physicals? Like, did you know what his physical situation was when you signed him? Because he's not ready yet. Did the Astros know that was going to be the case? I mean, the guy went out in June last year.
If he plays 5 months of the season, if he misses the first month, then that's fine.
Yeah. That's fine. But is it going to pop up again? This is the same shoulder, 2 major injuries.
Yeah.
And this one has taken him. And maybe they're being ultra cautious.
I think he DHs a lot more. He would say, Jordan said he wants to play more left field. I think that's going to be the case, and Brantley's going to be sitting on the bench.